After Duan Dong River stated that anyone capable of solving 6.000 stages would inherit one pulse of his legacy and possess talent potentially greater than his own. He believed none of them could achieve that yet, but the one who solved the most would gain the greatest advantage in obtaining the inheritance. After speaking, Duan Dong River vanished. The four competitors felt immense pressure. Deer Bug Master emphasized that the Rhinoceros Emperor game was far more than entertainment. Since mastering 6.000 stages implied the potential to surpass reincarnation eras and grant eternal existence to one's race. Luo Feng and the others were filled with determination. Luo Feng believed his expertise in deciphering secret engraving diagrams gave him an advantage because both systems involved complex three-dimensional structures. Over the years, his consciousness had continued studying secret engravings within the black striped stone pillar space. Aided by a time acceleration ratio of 3.000 times, greatly improving his abilities. Outside the boat of Mausoleum, all factions immediately tried to maximize their candidates' chances. Deer Bug Master requested access to a high time acceleration environment, so Purple Moon Ancestor sent one of his bodies into the Circle of Time, where time flowed 10.000 times faster. Shadow Dust Master and Sorcerer Sprite Master similarly sought help from First True Master. Meanwhile, after learning Luo Feng's situation, Primal Chaos City Leader urgently arranged for Luo Feng's remote ocean body to enter Huge Axe Creator's miniature universe, where a time acceleration of 10.000 times could also be maintained to assist his comprehension of the Rhinoceros Emperor game. Inside the boat of Mausoleum, countless stereoscopic phantoms glowed with different colors as Luo Feng, Deer Bug Master, Sorcerer Sprite Master, and Shadow Dust Master each stood before stone pillars and infused godly power into the phantoms to study them. Deer Bug Master believed his longer life might give him an advantage, while the others sensed intense competition because they had arrived first and therefore had the greatest chance to inherit the legacy. Inside the miniature universe of Huge Axe Creator, Luo Feng sat atop a mountain studying the Rhinoceros Emperor game. Although he could quickly comprehend the spaceship itself, he struggled for more than a day just to understand the game's basic rules. The game contained 123 solved games and 123 broken games, all corresponding to each other through light and shape. After more than 3 years of study, Luo Feng finally understood the rules. He realized the Rhinoceros Emperor game was a complex stereoscopic game similar to an engraving picture. The game had 10.081 fundamental elements, each appearing only once in a micro-stereoscopic hologram. Every hologram constantly changed, ensuring no two lines were identical. Altogether there were 9 highly complicated rules, and the ultimate solved game formed a perfect energy circle that could exist forever without consuming energy. Luo Feng understood that memorization alone was impossible. Even for universe masters, one had to grasp the hidden mysteries behind the structures. Similar to understanding secret techniques, he compared the game to the engravings of his miniature universe and concluded that while the game was less complicated, its perfectly self-sustaining energy made it extraordinary. He became fascinated and addicted to the challenge and admired the creator, Rhinoceros, for designing such a profound game. Remembering Duan Dong River's statement that even children in the ancient civilization loved the game, Luo Feng wondered whether even children there were immortal-level beings before focusing entirely on comprehension. Meanwhile, Sorcerer Sprite Master eventually discovered the rules and secretly informed Shadow Dust Master. Shadow Dust Master immediately understood why the game had been impossible to decipher before. The two decided to cooperate and study together, believing they could gain a major advantage over Luo Feng and Deer Bug Master before reinforcements from their race arrived. At the same time, great beings from nearly every major power across the 3 universe eras and the 2 Holy Lands rushed toward Universe Boat after hearing about the inheritance. The Heaven Clock clan arrived first. Shadow Clock Demon Master appeared outside the boat of Mausoleum and ordered Jittery Sea Master to reveal the route to the control room. After obtaining the map, Shadow Clock Demon Master sent the 3 Heaven Clock Clan Universe Masters into the boat and declared that the future hope of their race rested on them. Half a year later, 6 Universe Masters from various powers gathered outside the gate and demanded entry. But Shadow Clock Demon Master blocked them to buy more time for his race. Suddenly, a terrifying force arrived, and a powerful palace-type Supreme True Treasure charged directly into the gate. An elder in a white cape covered with leaves emerged and revealed himself to be from the Eastern Emperor Holy Land. The elder, North True, summoned 20 Universe Masters, 200 Universe Knights, and 2,000 Undying Fighters, ordering them to seize the inheritance for Eastern Emperor Holy Land, since the skeleton race had already provided them with the map earlier. The entire force immediately entered the boat of Mausoleum. North True then declared that if the Purple Moon Holy Land and other powers had not arrived yet, they likely never would. He then used a giant black oval treasure to completely block the gate and personally guarded the entrance to prevent anyone else from entering. On the life and death corridor of the boat of Mausoleum, Luo Feng and 5 other great beings observed the ongoing Rhinoceros Emperor game. Luo Feng sensed battle ripples coming from the other end of the corridor, likely from battles involving Monster Coelho. He realized that Duan-Dong River intentionally left the floodgate open and spared eliminated beings so news would spread and attract more candidates for the inheritance. Increasing the pressure on him, Luo Feng reflected on the extreme difficulty of the Rhinoceros Emperor game. Although less than a year had passed in the corridor, he had already spent thousands of years comprehending it inside Huge Axe's universe. He had only managed to perfectly map the first 119 stages despite understanding the regulations and studying for decades. And by fully comprehending the first 100 stages, he improved his comprehension ability and could think in more multi-dimensional structures. Soon, powerful ripples appeared again, and a massive group of newcomers arrived, numbering at least a few hundred great beings, most from the East Emperor Holy Land universe. Shadow Dust Master recognized them, while Sorcerer Sprite Master noticed that not only Universe Masters but also Universe Knights and Undying Souls had arrived, implying Monster Coelho adjusted its power according to the intruder's strength, and the Shadow Witch couple immediately sent this crucial information back to the Divine Eye Clan. Duan-Dong River then appeared and repeated his explanation about the inheritance test. But Luo Feng paid little attention, focusing entirely on his comprehension since he and the earliest arrivals held a clear advantage. A month later, Luo Feng had fully comprehended the first 123 stages and began his first true decoding attempt on the 124th stage. Unlike before, where solutions were already known, he now had to solve the endgame himself. And through repeated attempts and intuition, his mind gradually became clearer as countless dimensions combined in his thoughts. After half a month, he successfully completed the 124th stage perfectly, becoming the first to do so, and then moved on to the 125th stage. Meanwhile, outside battles intensified as the East Emperor Holy Land universe sent the ancient universe supreme being North True Star Master, who possessed 4 supreme true treasures: Palace type, Domain type, Close Combat type, and Long Range Attack type, and using these along with a shortcut through the universe boat. He arrived early and blocked the cabin entrance, preventing the Purple Moon Holy Land from entering, causing Deer Bug Master to resent him deeply. Eventually, Purple Moon Holy Land and the Divine Eye Clan joined forces, and their universe supreme masters, including 2nd True Master and 7th True Master, attacked North True Star Master together, and although powerful, he was eventually blasted away from the entrance. Inside the corridor, Luo Feng and Deer Bug Master remained the fastest at comprehending the Rhinoceros Emperor game, while Universe Knights and Undying Souls struggled greatly, and more waves of newcomers arrived, mostly from Purple Moon Holy Land, bringing the total candidates to over 1,000, with Deer Bug Master quietly explaining the rules to them. Duan-Dong River appeared again and formally introduced the Rhinoceros Emperor game as a comprehension test from his hometown that could improve understanding and cultivation ability, warning everyone not to underestimate it, and revealing that among the 4 earliest arrivals, only the human Luo Feng had perfectly decoded the 124th stage while the others were still far behind. As soon as Duan-Dong River disappeared, the entire crowd focused on Luo Feng, and he immediately realized those words were deliberately malicious, almost instantly. Universe Masters from the Divine Eye Clan, Purple Moon Holy Land, and East Emperor Holy Land launched attacks toward him to disrupt his comprehension and prevent him from gaining the inheritance first, sending 8 Universe Masters simultaneously with various powerful techniques. Enraged, Luo Feng activated the Crazy Demon Extermination Godly Armor, transforming into a gigantic single-horned lizard beast god with immense defensive power. And despite the combined attacks, The armor remained undamaged while the enemy mocked humanity and declared that obtaining the Duan-Dong River inheritance was worth any shameless act. The 8 Universe Masters intensified their siege using close-range attacks and soul techniques. And because the armor only gave Luo Feng 4th-tier combat strength, he could not effectively retaliate against opponents mostly stronger than him. While maintaining the beast god form also distracted him and greatly reduced his efficiency in comprehending the Rhinoceros Emperor game, making him realize he had become the main target of all factions. Trying to escape, Luo Feng charged toward a group of undying godly spirits. But the pursuing attacks accidentally affected them and 2 undying fighters were annihilated, causing everyone to immediately stop and wait for Duan-Dong River's reaction. Suddenly, black and white rays burst out from the 246 stone pillars lining the passageway, combining into a terrifying beam that instantly annihilated Fog Creator Master from the East Emperor Holy Land universe, leaving only his treasures behind before they were absorbed, shocking all present since Fog Creator Master was an extremely difficult special life form to kill, comparable in strength to Primal Chaos City Leader. The Divine Eye Clan quickly concluded that the punishment was triggered because undying godly spirits had been implicated. So to avoid further punishment, the 3 major factions stored all Universe Knights and undying spirits inside Palace True Treasures, leaving only Universe Masters outside. The remaining 7 Universe Masters then revealed they were prepared to sacrifice their bodies if necessary, since their divided bodies still existed elsewhere, and surrounded Luo Feng once more, launching another coordinated assault. Inside the life and death corridor of the Boat of Mausoleum, many powerful beings gathered, including plant, flesh and blood, and rock life forms, with the strongest factions being the Divine Eye Clan, Purple Moon Holy Land, and East Emperor Holy Land, while other nearby Universe Masters arrived but did not dare interfere. And although they saw Luo Feng being besieged, none pitied him since everyone coveted the inheritance and some even hid their own comprehension progress to avoid attention. During the battle, Luo Feng, still in his beast god form, fought against 7 Universe Masters at once, including both core members and subordinates of the 3 factions, who mocked him by saying that even if he survived, the prolonged battle would cripple his ability to study the Rhinoceros Emperor game. And Luo Feng realized maintaining the form consumed too much godly power while replenishment in the universe ocean was slow, severely affecting his efficiency. Forced into a corner, Luo Feng finally revealed his Crimson Tower, the Star Tower, entered it, and let it settle firmly onto the corridor floor. And the surrounding Universe Masters immediately recognized it as a palace-type true treasure and believed sealing it would be the best way to trap him permanently. Wind Wolf Master volunteered to use his sealing-type pinnacle true treasure, activating a tri-colored tower shaft that released a powerful suction force toward the Star Tower. But despite the immense pressure, the tower only trembled slightly and remained unmoved. And even when urged to increase power, he admitted he was already using his full strength, concluding that Luo Feng's tower was also among the best pinnacle true treasures. Another Universe Master attempted sealing, but Luo Feng calmly observed from within, knowing ordinary pinnacle treasures could not seal the Star Tower, which was actually a sealing-type supreme true treasure, though he remained cautious in case they had other methods. As repeated attempts failed, more great beings from the 3 major factions gathered and discussed anxiously, concluding that only a Universe Supreme Master with a supreme true treasure could possibly seal Luo Feng's tower. But 2nd True Master and 7th True Master revealed that Duan-Dong River had already forbidden Universe Supreme Masters from attacking inheritance candidates or they would face annihilation. After learning this, the factions grew desperate, and 7th True Master finally revealed he possessed the palace-type supreme true treasure Icecliff Fortress, specialized in sealing. But due to its extremely high willpower requirement, only a Universe Master with willpower comparable to a Universe Supreme Master could temporarily use it after gaining recognition. And since the Divine Eye Clan refused to risk its own members, the East Emperor Holy Land agreed to send one of its Universe Masters to use Icecliff Fortress against Luo Feng, with 7th True Master declaring that unless Luo Feng's Star Tower was also a supreme true treasure, there would be no way for him to escape the seal. Outside, Huang Ke Master from Eastern Emperor Holy Land volunteered to use 7th True Master's supreme true treasure, Icecliff Fortress, to capture Luo Feng's Star Tower, since 7th True Master feared losing his treasure. The Divine Eye Clan and Eastern Emperor Holy Land first exchanged several valuable pinnacle true treasures as collateral before lending it out. Inside Star Tower, Luo Feng quickly realized their plan. If Ice Cliff Fortress successfully absorbed Star Tower, he would lose everything, but if it failed, everyone would realize Star Tower was likely a supreme true treasure. While thinking of a solution, Luo Feng noticed the crystal pillars inside Boat of Mausoleum. He immediately controlled Star Tower to expand its base and tightly attach itself to one of the indestructible crystal pillars used for inheritance. When Huang Ke Master activated Ice Cliff Fortress, an enormous absorbing force shook Star Tower violently, but it could not pull the tower away. The other great beings soon realized why. Star Tower had merged with the crystal pillar connected to Boat of Mausoleum itself, and the pillar could not be destroyed. Luo Feng understood that Boat of Mausoleum was unique. Even Universe Supreme Masters could not damage its structure, especially the inheritance crystal pillars. Because of this, Star Tower could not be separated or absorbed unless the pillar itself broke, which was impossible. The great beings outside became furious after understanding that Luo Feng could now safely stay there forever while continuing to study the Rhinoceros Emperor game. After the sealing plan failed, the three major factions switched to direct attacks. 7 Universe Masters unleashed both soul and material attacks against Star Tower. However, all soul attacks were completely blocked, making them realize Luo Feng's treasure was incredibly special, likely second only to a supreme true treasure. With no other options left, the 7 Universe Masters continuously bombarded Star Tower with material attacks, hoping the shockwaves would interrupt Luo Feng's comprehension of the Rhinoceros Emperor game. In reality, the attacks were useless against Star Tower, and Luo Feng remained completely unharmed inside. Luo Feng stayed within the supreme true treasure Star Tower while 7 Universe Masters continuously attacked from outside. But Star Tower weakened their attacks so much that Luo Feng was barely affected and could calmly continue studying the Rhinoceros Emperor game. His consciousness entered the virtual universe, where the entire game and all 10.080 endgames had already been simulated so the human race's great beings, including huge Axe Creator and Primal Chaos City Leader, could study it as well.